Hello my friends, and once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're back out here in the Hunter Call of the Wild once again, and what we're going to be doing in today's video, my friends, is a detailed Great One quick guide. Now what I mean by quick guide, it's kind of a shorter, probably 8 to 10 minute video compared to the 16 to 20 minute video that I usually make for Great One guides, kind of explaining everything that you guys are going to need to know to get set up, start shooting, find your zones, get consistent respawns. We're going to cover a little bit of herd management today, so make sure you guys do in fact stay until the end of the video, because I wouldn't want you guys to miss out on any information, and if you guys do miss out on any information at all, it can and will mess up the method. Now, just to let you guys know, just a few days ago here, I did spawn Great One Fallow Deer number 1 after a ridiculous 6,000 kill grind, over 150 diamonds. It was a process, and I would strongly suggest going to check out that video. It will be linked down below for you guys. Now guys, before we do in fact dive into today's video, I do want to ask of you one really fast thing. If you guys please can go down there, smash that like button and subscribe. It would mean the world, as it is the #1 thing that can help support the YouTube channel, especially hitting that like button because of the fact that it does get the video pushed to more people just like yourself, therefore allowing me to help more people just like yourself. Anyways guys, wasting no more of you guys' time, let's go ahead and dive right into today's video. Okay guys, so the very first step to any Great One grind, no matter what grind you're doing, fun fact, the Great One spawned here just a few days ago. If you guys haven't seen that video yet, definitely go check it out. That will be linked down in the description for you all. The very first thing that you guys are going to need to do is go ahead and find your drink zones. I'm going to be using the fallow grind as an example today. Here in Tiawaroa, there's about 43 fallow zones. Depending on how many solos you have and how many of those zones are actually herd zones, but the typical number throughout my community has been around 43. If you guys want to know exactly how many zones you need for your specific grind, I would strongly suggest joining my Discord server and asking around in there, because there's literally hundreds of people in there who'd be more than willing to help you. It's a small Discord server with around 700 people, so it is fairly easy to get help fast. But obviously, please don't spam us if we don't reply right away. Either myself or one of my moderators will reply and give you some help as soon as possible, or maybe even someone who's just casually in the community. And here we go again with another solo. Finding your drink zones is a task that can take a very long time. For me, it took me 2 to 4 hours just to find all my Fallow Deer drink zones. And a couple different tips that I have for you guys to avoid some of the common mistakes that I see. When you're looking for your drink zones, make sure you're spotting absolutely everywhere they can possibly be. Now, if you don't know where your deer or animals can possibly be, I would strongly suggest using a hotspot map, either from my Discord server, or if the Call of the Wild server that you're in right now already has hotspot maps in it. Hotspot maps are going to help you out an absolute ton, as they do show you exactly when and where to find whatever species you're looking for. Whether you're doing a grind, whether you're just looking for your zones to hopefully get more efficient respawns, hotspot maps come in clutch no matter what species you're hunting. But trust me when I say that it will make finding your drink zones a million times easier. So real quick guys, I am going to show you a very good way to find out if you guys have all your drink zones or not. Now, you're not going to want to start your grind until you have all your drink zones, because you're not going to get consistent respawns and your grind's going to be efficient, etc, etc. The simplest way to find out if you have all your drink zones or not is find a zone like this one with males and females in it. Pick a male. For me, I'm going to shoot 2 since this is my main shooter zone and I already have all my drink zones. But all you guys are going to want to do is simply pop 1 deer or 1 animal, whatever grind you're doing. Then what you guys are going to want to do is go ahead and claim whatever male that you guys shot. Leave the game, come back in. If there's more males there or a male that you've never seen before, then you're getting consistent respawns, therefore you have all your zones. If there's nothing there but the deer that were there before, and you're either missing a male or just no males respawn, and you guys do not have all your drink zones, therefore you're going to need to go look for more. And when I say look for more, a lot of people will take that as they didn't look somewhere, like possibly they missed a spot. While that is very possible, it's also a very smart thing to do to run over all the areas that you've already ran over, because sometimes I will find, as I'm running and looking for my zones, some deer just won't show up. That's just how the game decides to work. Some deer just will not show up, and the only way to get their zone is to reset the time, go back and start searching for their zones over the areas you've already looked, and there very well could be another zone there that just didn't show up in the time that you ran by. And what do you know, we have another absolutely massive solo. So guys, now that you do have all your drink zones found, the very next thing that you guys are going to want to do is go ahead and start getting set up. Now, if you guys want exact specifications on where to place your tents and tripods, I would strongly suggest checking out my how to set up for any Great One grind video. And if you guys want to go into detail on herd management, I would definitely recommend checking out my how to spawn a Great One using herd management video. Both of those two videos will be linked down below, but we are going to cover herd management in a nutshell today here at the end of today's video, so make sure you guys do in fact stay until the end. Look at this, guys. We have 2 diamonds in the same zone. Okay, guys, so now that you're in the process of getting set up for your Great One grind, what I would recommend doing is picking 16 of your favorite zones. Now, this can also take quite a while, but what I would recommend doing is looking at all your zones, just running around and spotting a wide variety of them, finding zones that look similar to that one that I just showed you guys. Now, you're not going to have 2 diamonds in the same zone right off the bat. That would be very lucky if you did, but I highly doubt that you will. But what I mean by the same type of zone as that one is one with a good variety of males and females with a lot of deer in it. What you guys are going to want to do is try to find as many zones that look like that one as possible and get set up with 1 tent and 1 tripod at those zones. You guys aren't going to need claim tents just yet. Once you guys are set up at those 16 zones, using all 16 of your tents and 16 of your tripods, you can use 32 tripods if you want, but really no point because you're only going to be at 16 zones. What you guys are going to want to go ahead and do now that you're set up at those zones is go ahead and start shooting. Now, this is kind of where herd management splits off of just typical grinding. If you guys are going to use herd management, shoot every deer that you see that has a maximum estimate of 150 and above in those 16 zones. And what you guys are going to find is that those 16 zones are going to start to shoot themselves down. Now, this is going to happen naturally as you guys shoot 150s and above. Those 16 zones are going to start to fill with tiny deer. And what you guys should do once those zones fill up to the point where there's no more shooter deer left is pick up your tents and tripods and set up at as many other zones as you possibly can. You're going to want to repeat the process until almost every zone is shot down. I recommend picking 6 to 12 zones to shoot small deer out of, which will then respawn bigger deer, and what those zones are going to be your main shooter zones. Now, instead of just instantly going and looking for your main shooter zones before even starting to shoot down any of your zones, what I would recommend doing is starting to shoot down all of your zones, and along that process, what's going to happen is you guys are naturally going to find zones that you like. For example, this one right here, it could be a solo zone for you, but I can imagine just about everybody watching will like it because of the fact that it's not on a hill, it's very wide open, you can place a tent 150 yards in the other direction and not have any problems with it. Therefore, this zone is a very good zone. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you that it's going to be a good zone for you guys because it could very well be a solo or something, like I said. But if you guys have a good herd here, multiple males, multiple females, and you're getting consistent respawns from it, which if you're not, you probably don't have all your zones, I would strongly suggest that you guys do in fact use this zone as one of your mains because it is very good. Now, for those of you guys that aren't using herd management, all you guys are going to need to do is set up at those 16 zones and literally just start shooting everything. The only difference that you guys are going to have to do, which obviously since you're not using herd management, it's going to be less efficient than a herd manager grind, you guys are going to need to run around and check a good variety of your exterior zones or the zones that you're not shooting and are not set up at. And the reason for this is, when you shoot a deer out of one of the 16 zones that you're set up at, there's a very good chance that that could hop over to one of your other zones that you haven't shot any deer out of because of the fact that they're not shot down. Now, this is still very possible when using herd management, but it's a lot more unlikely because all your other zones are filled with tiny deer, and the game is automatically going to want to balance itself out and fill the zones that you guys are most commonly shooting at with the bigger deer. Some of the other good sides of using herd management are things like consistent diamond spawns, bigger deer to shoot in general, which just makes the grind more enjoyable because who wants to be sitting there shooting tiny deer over and over again for possibly thousands of kills? Take it from me, I just finished a 6,000 kill grind. And here's our deer. And last but definitely not least here on today's Great One Quick Guide, I do want to let you guys know one thing, specifically you beginners. A huge mistake that I see a lot of beginners doing, and this was actually in my top 5 best tricks for beginners video, is getting overwhelmed by seeing all of us Call of the Wild creators getting all kinds of trophies constantly from all these different grinds. It can be very overwhelming and it can make a beginner player want to do every single grind at once or just hop into grinding immediately. And I don't want to say that it's impossible, but it is dang near impossible for a very low level player with no scopes, no XP, no money, to even think about doing a grind because of the fact that you're going to need to buy things like tents, scopes, weapons, ammo. I would recommend at least getting to level 35, stacking at least $300,000 so you can afford tents and tripods before starting any type of grind, unless it's like a cash stacking grind. Any type of herd managed trophy grind is going to be a challenge for a beginner player either way. Anyways, my friends, I really do hope that today's video did help you guys out. I tried to keep it as short as possible because I know there's a lot of people that do click off of the videos fairly fast. And there's a lot of impatient people out there who don't want to spend 20 minutes on a video learning how to spawn a great one. Don't feel bad, I'm very impatient too. Anyways, my friends, my name is Squid, this is Squidster. Thank you guys all so much for making it to this point in the video. If you did, let me know down below by smashing that like button and subscribing. Without further ado, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.